took this cop almost 30 minutes to put the handcuffs on him. And then, instead of taking him to be checked out medically because he has dementia, I even asked if he needed the papers, he takes him straight to jail. And then he proceeds to put charges on my dad 3 different times before they're finally dismissed and they got that cop gone or whatever. But it's just a sad disease. He thinks you kind of comes with paranoia. But there was a godsend whenever we finally got him into Fairmont. They got him on a medicine called Depakote, along with one other, which calmed him down so much. Calmed him down for, well, the rest of it until he finally went. But up until then, he was taken off. He was angry. Didn't know mom was mom. She was out to get him with someone else. It's not a good disease at all. I hope that they can come up with something to slow it down or even cure it, stop it from happening altogether.
I know I've seen, like, I love medical dramas and stuff like that, and some of, like, the very little bit of research and stuff that I've done and stuff that I learned in school and stuff, that before it starts getting worse, like before the final outcome, that they have a period of lucidity where it's like there's nothing wrong at all. Did your dad go through that?
Yeah, there was a point there that he was really calm. It was almost like he was almost normal. And then a few weeks after that, I took him and mom to town. And, well, he always sit in his chair. And he went down and said, he was tired. He hated to just leave me, but he was tired. I'm like, I'll be here tomorrow. He kept on about leaving. And then he sat down in that chair. We thought he was just napping. But mom called me at work, and he still hadn't woke up. So I told her, if he's still like that, come around the time that I get to work, I'll call and see what's up. So I called. He was still like that, and she couldn't wake him up. So we got a wheelchair that we borrowed and got him into the car that I had at the time. Took him to Buchanan. And from there, they did some tests, and then they transported him via ambulance to the UHC. And from there, we found out that he just pretty much went into a coma. And might be wrong, but I'm going to say at least 2.5, close to 3 months, my schedule was wake up early, go to work, go from work, borrow a vehicle that could make it, go to UHC with mom and dad, and then from there, leave there in time to pick up my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, and then go
Shout out to Brittany.
Home, and that just it wore me the hell out. But I'd do it all over again. And have a cousin, me and him had some words, but I have nothing but respect and love for him because we're both hard-headed, we both loved him, and we both wanted what was best for him, and each one of us thought our way was. But he did so much. He took him to his appointments when I had to work, spent his own money to get lighting in the house because he was reading online that lighting kind of helps and all like that, and new water lines, which I don't even know how much all that would come to, but he just put it in there, no charge, no nothing. So at least I have one family member that I know that great to me and the old man and mom now that it's just her at the big farm.
Like I haven't had any like Alzheimer's in my family and stuff like that. I've seen patients and stuff like that. You know, patients, residents, and stuff that I've worked with, uh, and it does get frustrating. Like it. I do not pity anybody that has to take care of a family member and slowly sit there and watch them forget. I've seen it with families and stuff like that, and I've been to the point, and there's been sometimes that I felt guilty because their loved one knew who I was, but didn't know who they were. I mean, granted, they didn't say my name, but they knew that I was the nurse, which, you know, a lot of times that's the only thing when you have like 4 or 5 nurses rotating throughout the week and stuff like that, you know, and it's the nursing home and stuff like that. You usually didn't have any set schedule, but kind of lighten the mood one time. One of my favorite residents, oh Lord, I don't know if she had Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's diagnosis, but I do know she had dementia. My aide came up to me. I was a nurse that evening, and it was about time to, you know, people start going to bed 10:30. I worked 3 to 11 that day. She came up to me and she goes, our favorite resident won't stay in bed. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll go down and talk to her. And I go down there. I was like, hey, what are you doing? She looks at me and she goes, we have got to go. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Because she was a fun one. When she first got there, she was stuck back when she was working, and she used to work at the place that I work now. And so she would go to other rooms and stuff and unhook oxygens and stuff like that. Kind of a menace, but, you know, I come to love her and her family. You know, I love all my patients, all my residents. But going back to the we gotta go now. Again, it's dark outside. So I opened a window. I said, I don't know about you, but I don't like to drive at night. You know, trying to get her to relax. And I said, I promise that we will leave first thing in the morning. And she looked at me and she looked at the TV. At that time, there was 2 people talking on the TV. She goes, as long as we're all in agreement. I was like, okay. I said, I agree. And I think they do too. And she, dead eye, looks at me and goes, what are you talking about? That is a television. I was like, oh my God, what side of crazy land are we on today? So, but it's the moments like that is what I've seen. I have seen like the end and stuff like that. But I guess I consider myself very blessed as a nurse and as a CNA, and I've been in the healthcare field since 2015 when I went to CNA school, and that's the same year my grandpa passed away. I have not had a single death under my care. I've been there, and when I say under my care, nursing home I worked at, we had 3 different halls. I would be on hall number 1, and there would be a death on hall number 2. Not under my direct care, even though my responsibility is everybody in the hospital as a nurse or in the facility as a nurse, but I wasn't assigned to those patients that day. Well, in nursing home, we like to call them residents, but I have not had one. But I can say one thing that I have been through is cancer. I lost my grandpa to cancer. And it's about this time in 2015 that we found out that he had cancer. It was kind of just a whirlwind of what the hell is going on. His birthday was January 1st. I was at work. I was working at Tudor's. If you don't know what Tudor's is, it's a breakfast place that here in West Virginia is very popular. Check it out. Awesome biscuits. I got a text message at work from my dad and my grandma saying that my grandpa had a heart attack. got up there. He had a 90-some% blockage in his heart. They put a stent in. Okay. They put a stent in, and while he was in recovery from that, he got pneumonia. And when they did the X-ray for the pneumonia, they blah blah blah. They found a spot on his lung, and he had stage 3 lung cancer, and it eventually, after chemo, it spread to his liver into his brain. So, long story short, I am going to pause for a moment and check this message because I'm making sure not everything's right. Okay with my grandma. All right. What's it? Oh, okay. So, okay. So, quick intermission because I need to get me another drink, and we will be right back in a second.
Hey, if you all haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Hell, this is how I'm making this podcast right now. It's free. That's the best part about it. Creation tools that allow you to record from your phone or laptop or almost any mobile device. It'll distribute your podcast for you, Spotify, Apple, and so much more. And best of all, you can get paid for it. Make money from a podcast with no minimum membership. Hell, probably even if you have none until you get a following, but it's free. That's all I can say about it. It's the best.
Okay, we're back. What was probably like a 5-minute intermission for us is probably going to be like a 5-second intermission for you. But we were talking about Alzheimer's, even as a nurse and work in mental health field, because at my job, I don't work the units anymore. I work in transporting patients, discharges from hospital to hospital, taking them out to outside appointments because we are not a medical facility. We don't have the cardiologists, the pulmonologists, and all that stuff in there. So we have to take them out for referrals and stuff like that. But one thing that I'm very passionate about, and I will always be passionate about because of my nephew, and if that episode from the second episode from that we recorded last night airs, we're talking about my nephew with my friend Sam that was here. Nathaniel's autistic. And he is one of the lights of my life. I love this child. And I will always help fund autism. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't have ate tacos.
Sí, señor.
Yeah. Autism is I don't know how to say. I want to call it amazing because of how broad it is. I have my nephew, which I call him my nephew. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. They're all my friends' kids. They're a big part of my life. I don't have any kids of my own. I am working to being a foster parent. I've made the steps into doing that. But I have Nathaniel, who mainly he obsesses. And it seems like he obsesses over video games. And right now, and for the past year or two, it's been this game called Terraria, which is apparently a knockoff Minecraft. Child is brilliant. But that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is his actual aunt, who is... you can take her shopping and stuff, and she knows, she'll buy her own toilet paper, her own food, her own cleaning supplies, stuff like that. But at the same time, I've witnessed her punching herself in the stomach and stuff like that, or punching the wall, saying praise Satan and stuff like that within her super religious family with her super religious mom, which I try really hard not to laugh because